Good morning, everybody, and this is your Forex day trade setups for today. I should actually start saying Forex weekly setups because we haven't had much on offer this week. Really just been sideways. Anyway, let's just start off with Euro USD. So Euro USD, we are sort of bottom of, I'm not going to call it a range at the moment, but let's just use this level here. But we are in this zone of support, and you can see we are fighting inside here. It does look like we have a potential double bottom brewing here. Okay, I have a little bit of divergence on one of my indicators here, but this structure is pretty much the whole week structure. There's the whole week structure there. And it does look like a potential double bottom brewing, but obviously we need to get above this area here of 12252, one mouthful full of twos, but that is what we're looking at the moment. Now there is a gap here which looks like we squirted down to close it, but in my eyes that gap's still open. If we come to the hour, you can see even on the hour it's tails onto there, and I prefer to see a body on that gap. So you can see there's my actual gap there, right? And if we come back across here, let me just delete this so we can see what's going on. You can see we got tails onto it, which is great, but I want to see a body on that, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see another retest of this area. So at the moment, obviously the short-term trend on the hour is down. That's pretty clear. We have come to structure, and we have retested a trend line break. So this was the trend line here. We've tested it. We've closed it. Well, not quite closed the gap, but we've hit the gap. So that is a potential bullish signal, but I'm very wary because, as far as I'm concerned, that body must be sort of on or below the gap for it to be closed. I don't like seeing gaps with tails that close it, because in my experience anyway, it always comes back to close that gap. So here's another one here. You can see we didn't. So some people use tails and classify that as closed. I don't. I typically want to see a body there. Probably just gives me a little bit more leeway to make sure that it happens. Anyway, this is sideways right now. I'm not really interested in it at the moment, but if we do start breaking, then I would have expected something after Biden's speech last night, but that doesn't look like it's transpiring. So at the moment, I think this is looking at sit on hands for me. This is a key level here. Well, it's actually a little bit lower down, but this 129.83, this is a really key level. So if we get through 129.83, we have a bit of a problem. We have already broken through a fairly strong level as well, and that's on top here. So you can see there was a lot of resistance here, and then we found support, and then we broke through it up, and we broke down again. So we'd have to recapture that. That's 121.663. Recapture that support and then move to the upside. But I don't think that's going to transpire. I think we're either going to just bounce a little bit higher, or just go sideways, or probably drift a little bit lower at the moment. But I think this zone of confusion here is going to continue, so I'm staying well away from that. US dollar, Japanese yen, kind of a similar pattern. Remember, we're looking for a weaker dollar at the moment, and if all things go well, we'll get it. But I don't believe that is on the cards at the moment. So I'm actually starting to pay attention to a lot of the noise around a stronger dollar, but not convinced just yet. So the weekly here is the same thing. Sort of down, sort of sideways down, up. We do have buyers stepping in. We do have a bit of a trend line break here, but my problem is the structure. You can see that's 103.679. That's what we're looking for. So there it is there, 103.679. We did get a close below it. We have tested it once, That's the line in the sand. So if we start breaking, and problem is we're going to have to be a little bit more on our toes because we've got 3 areas here. It does look like a big range we're in. If we start breaking below these swing lows here, that's going to get us back, moving back to the downside. So until that happens, I'm not really interested in this while we're sideways. Could be an area of interest up here. Could be an area of interest up here, and there's a level here of 103,900. So that could be an area of interest. So big move down, bit of a retracement, forming a bit of a flag, and then another leg down, which will push us below these stars. But anyway, I want to see those breaks before I start looking at that. Euro Aussie dollar is coming up to a fairly decent opportunity at the moment in my eyes. So on the 8 hour, we are still very firmly to the downtrend, and I should be looking for areas to buy into. 8 hour support at the moment. Remember, we're coming off a weekly level here, so resistance would be at 157,281. However, on the 1 hour, we've got a few other opportunities, and one of them is right here where we are at the moment. Okay, so this is looking like a fairly decent area at the moment. This is 156,535, and what I'd basically be doing, if not so much in the Asian session though, I'd be waiting for the European session. But you can see on the 15-minute, there's a lot of interaction in this area. So I think there's a bit of a Brooks gap here. Yeah, there is, right over there. So that's the zone that I'd be looking at. So it is between 156608 and 156535. That's going to offer me an opportunity to get short. So that's well worth watching during the European Open. Okay, British pound, Japanese yen, nothing really transpiring. Look at the 8 hour. You can see lots of confusion here. My oscillator is also telling me to be careful here. And you can see we've got a little bit of an inside bar there. You go further to the left, you can see we've got a hell of a lot of noise. And let's just do that. One more. Okay, all I'm doing is I'm picking up these tails. Okay, so that's kind of the zone we're in at the moment. So if you start coming down to the 1 hour, you'll see we cleared this area and we're now flirting with that zone. So just readjust this, bring it up there. That would be the area that I'd be interested in a buy, and that's going to be 141,371 and 141,255. So until we get some kind of a retracement, that's what I'd be looking for. Alternatively, I'm looking for us to clear 142051 and test it, which means we'd have to clear some of these tails as well. Okay, so that's not really that clear, but what is clear is we do have a potential uptrend forming here, and we've been in uptrend, for a while, but we have a fairly decent uptrend, and we have some structure here, which that break and retest hasn't really happened. So it is possible that we get an even deeper pullback as well. So pay attention to that, because that would be a good area to buy off. 147.97. So here's my structure. We've broken through it there, didn't test it, broke it through it there, didn't test it, came below it. So that level is still wide open as well. So that's the view that I've got at the moment. So pullback and buy. Aussie dollar, US dollar. So obviously it's part of the US dollar pairs, and nothing really going on here. We are sideways at the moment. It does look like we've got a bit of a rejection bar forming here, and that's my support. There's my next level of support. This one has been tested. This one and kind of has been tested. We'll look at that on the hour, but I don't think there's much on offer here. So we've had, let's see what's transpiring here. Pretty much nothing. It does look like it's brewing for another turn. Obviously that level is gone, so let's find the next level. Here's my next level here. So this would be the area to pay attention to, 077581. Probably a Fibonacci as well. Not quite, we're at the 61.8 Fibonacci right now. It does look like it is brewing. Bear in mind, we have formed a higher high. There's the previous high. So we have formed a higher high. We've been forming higher lows. And what the next bit of chaos I'm going to add to the chart is another red line, which gives me a channel. Now, this area is fairly interesting. That's something that I would pay attention to be honest with you. So just watch out in the European Open. We're looking for price action around 07581. If this can hold and we can get some positive price action, and you can do it on the 15, to be honest. So if you get some decent bullish price action here, and you can see there's a breakout pretty close, it's well worth looking at for an opportunity to the long side. There are gaps here. There's a gap down the bottom here. So just be cautious about it. Obviously, I'd want to see positive price action off the level, and then you get in on the bar that is showing or confirming the positive price action. Okay, so that's that pair. The last pair is British pound, Aussie dollar, and been talking about this for a while, that we have potentially a trend reversal happening here. Now, we've just got to go to the weekly to highlight. There's been a massive trend down. Had a couple of attempts coming off this level, and we are now coming sort of, the oscillator here is making higher highs, but the price is making lower lows. So there is a potential trend reversal here, and this is an inside bar on the weekly forming. And when you look at it on the 8 hour, you can see we've sort of broken through the moving average. Very messy, barbed wire move, but it does look fairly interesting with the buyers coming in here. So obviously Brexit traders are now looking at the pound differently, and we'll have to wait and see what transpires, obviously. But the trend's been down for a long time, so I'm fairly interested. I won't say bullish, but I'm fairly interested in to see what's going to happen here, because it's always nice getting in at the bottom of a trend change. It's always volatile and it's very difficult to get going, but once it does get going, you can actually leave your trades in for extended periods of time. So there's nothing really on offer for me at the moment. We're still about below the moving average now. It does look a little bit like we have some structure forming and a break of that structure. So let's just put that level in there. So I'd be looking at 175,970. If we sort of hold that level, pull back, it's going to come back onto this channel break and then give us a little opportunity up. But I'm not going to trade this today, not on a Friday. We'll wait for Monday to see what transpires, see what that weekly looks like on Monday, because that's going to be the signal that a lot of traders are going to be looking at. Anyway, guys, that's it for me today on Forex. Pretty much all over the place on the markets at the moment. So for me, the only thing that I'm really going to pay attention to here is the Aussie dollar, US dollar at the moment, and then the Euro Aussie dollar as well. Okay, so I'm looking for a short here, and then we're looking for a long here. Okay, anyway, guys, that's it for me. Hope it helps you somewhat, and don't forget to like, drop us a comment if you've got an idea, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. We do this on a daily basis. Anyway, that's it for me. Hope you have a great weekend, and we'll catch up with you on Monday morning. Cheers for now.